Hello, I'm John McGuire. I'm often asked, what do I do if I'm pulled over for a DUI? And I wanted to talk to you a little bit about that subject. Florida Statute 316 says that you're not to drive under the influence of alcohol or controlled substance. And the first issue is probable cause. When I was a military police officer, I used to pull over people for DUI all the time. And we used to have reasons to stop them, like someone flicking a cigarette out the window. We used to call that a pull me over flare, because at night it set up a bright red spark and we'd pull over that car for littering. And then investigating that cigarette butt that was thrown out the window, we'd smell alcohol and then I'd be able to process a DUI. So the first thing you do is drive safe, don't speed, don't throw cigarettes out the window. Make sure that your windshield and all your equipment are intact, that you don't have a crack in the windshield or a tail light out, because those little problems could lead to a police officer pulling you over and ultimately investigating you for DUI. Next, when an officer does pull you over, remember to be polite. You're being recorded at all times, your voice and video, so you want to make sure that you're polite to the officer, because it could help in a number of reasons. One is you want to be as nice to the officer as possible for situations where there are close decisions to make. That officer could have the discretion to let you drive home. Once the field sobriety tests are begun, you want to make sure you tell the officer if you have any problems, medical or otherwise, that could limit your ability to perform field sobriety tests, such as the heel-to-toe, finger-to-nose tests, things like that. Finally, people ask me, should I blow? Should I take the breath test or not take the breath test? Florida Statute 316 requires, upon you getting a driver's license, that you submit to a blood, breath, or urine sample if requested by law enforcement for purposes of checking for intoxicating or controlling substances. I believe that if you're not drunk, if you don't have anything to hide, you should blow. Pretty simple. Sometimes people come into my office and say, well, I didn't take the breath test, so I should be able to win this case. And I think, well, if you were sober, you're so dumb, you shouldn't have a license anyways. But really, if you're sober, you take the test. If you don't take the test, you have the added misdemeanor charge of refusing to take that test, which increases your suspension from 30 days hard suspension, meaning no driving privilege, to 90 days. So there are some ramifications, not to mention the fact that ultimately a jury would be instructed that you refuse to take that test, and they should presume that's because you were impaired. So bottom line is, don't drink and drive, and if you do have a problem, make sure you hire a qualified attorney to represent you. Thank you.